Good day, everybody. Today we talk about the public sector, public administration, dealing with government. And there's not a person here who hasn't had to deal with government in one form or another, good and bad. But whether it's getting a ticket from a police officer, whether it is a fire, whether it is using a park, that all has to do with the government. The government is an organization. It truly is. It's an organization that differs quite considerably from the local grocery store, the subway down the street. It's run differently, have different objectives, and some people find that the inefficiencies and ineffectiveness that they often see in government, as an example, we could be 20 trillion in debt with our federal government, and some may say, why could that be? That doesn't make sense. Why doesn't it act like a business, where businesses have to, at the end of the year, have just a little bit more income than they do expenses in order to pay their bills? So I thought I'd spend a couple minutes talking about the three main reasons that governments act differently than the private sector or private businesses. First is a lack of competition. We live in a capitalistic society, for good or bad. It's a capitalistic society. Basically what that means is a host of producers, manufacturers will make a range of products, and we buy the product that we want the most, whether it's the one with the best quality or the lowest price. That's what we look for. That's competition. And in general, when you have people who provide similar products, when you have producers that provide, whether it's cars or groceries, you have a choice, and therefore it pushes the cost down. If you only have one car maker, they can charge whatever they want. When you have numerous car makers, they can't charge anything they want. In government, they don't have competition for the most part. 90% of people go to public schools, not much competition. If you want to send a letter, in most ways you send it through the post office. If you have Social Security, there's only one place that offers it. So because of that lack of competition, which is the first difference between the public and the private sector, because of the lack of competition, then government's costs can go up because no one can compete about them. A great example is Walmart without Target or Target without Walmart. When you have Walmart and Target in the same town, prices tend to go down. Second is the certainty of income. So the second difference between the public and the private sector is certainty of income. In the public sector, no matter how they provide a service, they still get paid. You must pay taxes, whether the roads are constructed well, whether the roads are constructed on time, whether your children actually learn from public school teachers, whether bridges work or not, you still pay your taxes. So that certainty of income allows government to not be as efficient and not be as effective. They know they're going to get paid. There was a big tunnel in Massachusetts called the Big Dig some years ago. It was going to be about $2 billion. It ended up costing $20 billion. They just raised the taxes. If it was the private sector, they would have went broke. The company who did it would have went broke, but not in the public sector. Last is that oftentimes equality trumps efficiency. I'll give you a good example. The post office has to deliver letters throughout the United States. Sometimes it can take a letter carrier 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes to deliver one letter to someone who lives way out in the country. In the country. That's not an efficient use of a postal carrier's time. By the time that they deliver that one letter, which has a 20, 30, 40, 50 cent stamp on it, and they take an hour to deliver that letter, if you're a business, it's not cost effective to provide that service. But in government, they're mandated to provide the service. No matter what the cost, the post office has to deliver that letter. That's just one example. There's schools where kids may need some type of attention. If it's a private school, they may not be able to pay that. In the public sector, they often have to pay whatever it costs to provide that service. So those are the three differences in the public sector and the private sector. The public sector has a lack of competition. The public sector has a certainty of income, which means they're going to get income regardless. And lastly, equality often trumps efficiency. Hope you enjoyed. We'll have many more of these. It's great to have you in the class. I look forward to continuing our discussions about this class. Have a great one.